So you've got me, my smiley face. So, and this is the mini educator. Call this the Ferrari of e-collars, okay? Number one e-collar for pet dogs in the world, by far, I'd say. So, e-collar technologies in America, you can, to look at any of their stuff, go on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube, okay? Type in mini educator, you can see lots of good things, even just about how to switch it on and off and things like that. But I'm going to show you that in this video, and what you get in your kit, so that you can re-watch this and remind you, okay? So, in your kit, it's a one-dog system. You can actually have it's a two-dog system. You have a handset and a receiver. You've also got your charger. You've got a lanyard to clip so you can hang the remote around your neck. You get an extra set of prongs for the collar that are slightly longer than the standard set, okay? So, and you've got like a wee key and things like that to take them off. Things that don't really matter right now for you. So you have a collar and you have a handset. So this e-collar has a half-mile radius, all right? Now, what we describe coming off of the feeling the dog has on this, you can make it beep, excuse me, you can make it vibrate, or you can make it, the dog get a blunt stimulation, the stim. And the blunt stim is by far the most controversial by people who have never interacted with it, to be honest, just ignorance. But actually a blunt stim is a low level while you're teaching the dog. A blunt stim is way less than a vibration. Okay, so the way we show you here is on the collar. You get a standard biothene collar. This could be on a Chihuahua or a Great Dane, so it comes kind of one size fits all, and then we'll cut it to size. Okay? Some people choose to get a bungee, which is they remove this collar and put a bungee, which is like what my Lilo's got, where we drawstring, and you can just like put it on and bungee them. It's easy, but you don't have to do that. The biothene collar you get as standard is with a belt type fashion, is completely appropriate. Very strong and robust. So you have on here, you've got two prongs, smooth rounded prongs, and you have a wee battery, a charging point inside, because it just plugs in the wall. It's completely swim proof, waterproof. The way you switch the collar on is there's a little red dot on the collar and there's a little red dot on the side of the handset, not to be confused with the red button. And you just touch them together and it switches the collar on, red off, green on, red off. Okay, so I switch the collar on. The collar will then flash every 5 seconds or so, letting you know that, and it's flashing a colour. So flash green, that's letting you know it's fully charged. Okay, whenever you can charge it, it'll go orange and then red. What I advise is you don't leave it to run out. Okay, maybe every night just fling it on for 20 minutes, half an hour, and it'll always stay fully charged.
Yeah.
On the handset itself, you have on the back, there's an on-off button and it also says light. And what you do is you hold on to that button until the screen comes on. Okay? If you just tap the on-off button, which is also a light, it gives a flashing torch on the collar. Press it again, gives a full torch on the collar. Press it again, it goes back to normal. Okay? So so sometimes people maybe they didn't know about the light and they're playing about with their e-collar, or they walk in and know, oh, it's got a white light coming out, have I broken it? And it's like, no, you just switch the torch on. On the handset, you have an antenna for half a mile radius. You've got a dial that goes between 0 and 100. Okay? And you have 3 main buttons, and it's the way it comes already is the way you're going to use it right now. You have a black T on one side, which can be a tap or a tone, a vibration or a tone. Vibrates like a mobile phone, basically, okay? And you can tap it or you can hold it. Really a button we're not going to be using at all right now. Not for what we're doing with your dog. On the other side, we have a black S and a red S. The black S and the red S, the way this is set up right now, you can set it up in many different ways, but the way it's set up right now is whatever number is on the screen, the black S and the red S both give the same number that's on the screen. But the black S gives what we call a momentary stimulus, half-second stimulus, sometimes called a nick. And the red button is the same number on the screen but gives a continuous stimulus. So momentary, even if I hold the black button, it only gives one stimulus.
Right, okay.
We're not really going to use that button at all right now. Okay. The red, I can tap or I can hold. Tap, 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 tap. Think of your seatbelt analogy. Ding, 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 ding. When we're going to use negative reinforcement to positive reinforcement to teach your dog the e-collar, like we did the prong, or anything that you do to teach your dog place, you use negative reinforcement to positive reinforcement. You don't, when we first use e-collar, like prong, etc., we don't use any punishment at all. There is no aversive action here. We're not punishing the dog or zapping the dog or telling them off, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We're literally classically conditioning, so we're associating this tapping sensation really with recall in food. That's what we're doing, okay? So as an example, the only button we're really going to be using right now is the red button, dialing the dial up and down to find the right levels for the dog. We're going to try and find the dog's lowest perception level, the lowest level they feel, and work on that, okay? So we have, just to show you an example, I hold this in my hand, and you can see the red button when I press the button, okay? Now as an example, my dog, Lilo, she is a 4. So when I press it, a 4. Now I cannot feel a 4, okay? 4 is so ridiculously low. Most dogs are single digits. So as an example, a 4, I don't feel a 4. I'm going to hold it in my hand and turn it until I feel it in my hand. Okay? Now what I'm realizing right now is I don't feel it right now till a 20. Okay? And what I'm feeling right now is tap, 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 tap in my hand. Okay? This is the same grade that they use as a TENS machine on babies in hospitals or pregnant women with their TENS machine. Or similar to the ab belt sort of thing. So the way this works, it cannot give that electric shock that transfers through your body, and if someone else touches you, it shocks them, and there has to be a grounding. No, what happens is it simply sends a current of electricity, very, very low current from A to B, and there has to be a muscle in the between to complete the circuit. Mm-hmm. And what it does is it contracts that muscle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to let you feel it, and you can tell me what level you feel. Okay, how many minutes are we in?
7.5.
All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the collar, the phone. You're going to hold this in your hand.
What, like that?
Yeah, just hold it on your muscle. Yeah. Now you can also hold this in different. Put it on your neck. Put it on your thigh. Put it on your arm. Try different places, right? Because you're going to feel it at different levels on different muscles. Okay. So here we're working a really delicate area in the palm of your hand. It's a very delicate area, okay? So as an example right now, I'm going to give you, my dog's a 4, but I'm going to give you a 5. So I'm pressing it on you right now. And what you don't do is you don't feel anything. No. Okay, that's right. So the vibration, I'm tapping vibration now. You can feel that, right? It feels like a phone. But the stim, you don't feel at all. No. Right? So you're going to tell me what level that you feel. So I'm just going to slowly turn until you feel a tapping in your hand. So tell me when you feel anything in your hand, okay? And all I'm doing is just slowly turning until you feel a wee tapping in your hand. Bam, bam. Good. And this is just to prove a point to people, okay? Yeah. So right now you're on 19, 20. I'll just to round it off, I'll give you a 20. So I guess how does that feel to you? What do you feel that? Does it feel like?
Just like running water into the palm of your hand.
Kind of just tap 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 tap. Yeah. I've never heard it that way. Yeah, just kind of running. I sometimes call it feathering. It's kind of feathery, just kind of. Yeah. So it's not sharp or staticky or anything. You just get that tap 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 tap. Yeah. Now keep in mind, right now you are 5 times the level my dog is. Right now, you know. That's the ironic thing about it. I mean, you're more aversive, if you like. You apply more pressure to your dog through a leash than you do through an e-collar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the ironic thing about it. Okay? So all the hype and all the nonsense about e-collars is like, that's it.
Wow.
Just nonsense, right? So now we're going to teach your dog.